I would want to kind of say thank you to a lot of people. Some people were even reaching out to me that I didn't finish up my tutorial, especially the person that requested for this tutorial. I am back live now. The network has not been stable from my own end, and I apologize for back live again. And this is where we are. So we're going to be cutting a princess bust, a let's say princess Bustier peplum blouse. Now this came on request because I've been so busy lately that I really don't think I'll be able to create that tutorial, and the person suggested, okay, if we can live stream, that will be fine. So before we start up, we're going to be cutting the upper part, which is the princess upper part today. So I have this is the lining we're going to be working with, and then this is the fabric we are going to be working with as well. Okay, I'm still using this style to wait for every other person to join. If you are joining live, thank you for joining my live stream. So this is the fabric we're going to be working with today. This is an Ankara fabric we'll be working with today, and then this is the lining we are going to be working with today. Let me still try to see if I can share this stream with people on the WhatsApp, and it worked. Okay, so before we start, we're going to be starting with let me kind of explain to us the basic body measurement we're going to be working with. I already know that I have a detailed basic bodies tutorial on the channel, but I still want to show us the basic bodies we're going to be working with today so that we can follow along. So the first thing I am going to do is to kind of get my back basic body, which is my shoulder, my shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement I'm working with today is going to be 16. Can you see where my tape is? It's going to be 16. Now for the 16 inches, I am going to get, so please just hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second and let me quickly check something. Okay, so let me quickly check something to see the feedback. Who's up? Sorry. To see the feedback from here, to know what the feedback looks like from here, if you can hear me properly. For those who are just joining, thank you so much for joining. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting a feedback properly from my end as well. So but we'll also use this medium to allow others to join our class today. So we're going to be doing a live stream today. Our class is going to be a live stream. It's going to be quite different from the ones we used to have. So I am trying to see what the feedback looks like at this end. Okay, so I am seeing the feedback and I am trying to know what the feedback looks like. So thank you guys for holding on. I am seeing the feedback. Okay. So with that being said, so if you're just joining the live stream, we are kind of, oh wow. So if you're just joining my live stream, we're talking about the basic body measurements that we are going to be doing today. So the first one is that we've gotten our shoulder into 2. So this my shoulder, from this point to this point is my shoulder into 2, and then from this point, from our shoulder here to this point is where we have our breast points, and then to my under bust, which is 13 inches. Okay, 13 inches, and then from my under bust to my waistline, which is 16 inches at this point here. Now I've gotten our horizontal body measurement. Now from this 16, the length of our blouse is going to be 24 inches. Can we see? It's going to be 24 inches. Okay, thank you so much for joining, Orire. Okay, Orire, I'm seeing Orire here. So thank you so much for joining, Orire. So the length of our peplum is going to be, that is the length of our blouse is going to be 24 inches. Now from our waistline, how to get the length of your peplum, from your waist where your peplum is going to be joining, you want to kind of count from 16. I'll count 17, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So the length of peplum, you should always, your length of peplum should be always be 8 or 9 inches, now depending on the level, on the length you want it to be. So we have gotten our vertical measurements, we're going to be getting our horizontal body measurements. So from here, I am going to be getting my round bust circumference. I'll get my round bust circumference, which is, my round bust circumference is 37. My round bust circumference is 37. And here, which is the most important aspect of cutting your bustier, is this your underbust, because is this your underbust. If you miss this measurement of your underbust, your bust, your bust is not going to sit properly on your clothes. And then here is my waist, where I have my curve, my waist curve measurement, and is 28 inches. So my round waist circumference is 28 inches. Now we're going to go ahead and cut. I hope we understand to this point. So if you're watching, I hope we understand to the basic body we are going to be working with. So now we are going to be folding our lining, because we're going to be cutting on this lining. So but before that, I am going to kind of bring the camera for us to see my cutting table now. So you're not going to be seeing my face, you might end up hearing my voice and then my hands on the cutting table. Okay, so I am going to try to adjust our camera so that you can see my cutting table. So please let me know if you can see on the cutting table. If you can see my cutting table, please let me know. Now this is the lining we are going to be cutting on. We're going to be working on this lining, and for you to know how to fold, we're going to be cutting the front part first. For you to know the length of what you're going to, the quantity of fabric you're going to be folding, for you to know the length, the quantity of fabric you are going to be folding, you are going to, okay, I'm trying to make sure that I am getting my cutting table. So for you to know the quantity of fabric you're going to be folding on, you divide, my round bust measurement is 37. My round bust measurement is 37. So I have divided the tape into 2 first, and then I'm going to be dividing it again into 2, making it 9 1/4. This is 9 1/4. Now out of that 9 1/4, I am going to place my tape just this way. Out of that 9 1/4, what I'm going to do is that I will place my tape here. This is our round bust measurement. I will count 1 2 3 4 5. So I'll be adding extra 5 inches allowance to it, so that by the time we get all the darts and our allowances, we will not run short on fabric. So that we're not going to run short on fabric. My brother is going to swear for me today because he wants to pass. So I will go ahead and iron. It's always important for us to iron while we are cutting. You people should be praying for me. That NEPA should not off this light. If NEPA should off the light, because this particular, my not so spacious cutting space is really dark here. So if NEPA should off their lights, Okpario. If NEPA should off this light, Okpari, Okpari, Okpari. So what I'm going to do now that we have gotten this, I will keep this aside, and then I will go ahead and pin it down. I'll go ahead and pin it down. So I'll just pin it down at this area to avoid it moving away. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and get our vertical body measurements. So from this point here, let me bring this down. So I'll keep this up here, and then I'll bring it down for us to see. So from here, this point, which is going to be serving as our shoulder measurement, I will come down by 9 inches, which is our breast point. I will mark it down here. I'll mark it out. Then see from our shoulder, I will come down by 13 inches, which is my under bust measurement. I will mark, and then I'll connect a straight line. Then see from our waist, our shoulder down to our waist, which is 16 inches. I will mark the 16 inches down here, and I will add 1 inch allowance for joining, which makes it 17. So I will go ahead and connect all the lines together. This is our lines together. So I'll label this now. This is going to be our breast point. This is going to be our under bust, and then this is going to be our waistline, and then our allowance. Okay, I hope we can see this point to this point. Now what I'm going to do is that I will mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which will give us 8. I'll mark the 8 inches here. I will mark down here. Now from this point here, from this place we've marked, I will also just correspond the 8 inches at this point, and then I'll connect it to meet the shoulder. So I'll come here and mark the remaining ½ inch of our 8 inches, which is the 16 divided by 2. Now from here, from this point, I will come down by 1 inch, which is going to be 7 as our shoulder slope. I will mark it down here. Now the neck width we are going to be working with today is 3.5 inches. I'll mark it. So the remaining one is going to be our shoulder. Now from here, I will go ahead and connect this, our shoulder slope, to this point. The neck depth we are going to be working with today for the front, remember this is the front we are still marking, is 4 inches. I will mark it, and then I'll go ahead and curve it out just like this. Okay, now what we're going to do now is to get our princess. We're going to go ahead and get our princess shape. To get that, I will mark my nipple to nipple measurement, which is my nipple to nipple, which is also my bust span measurement, divided by 2 will give us 4. From this our breast point, I will mark the 4 inches here. I'll mark it the same thing on our under bust. I'll mark at our waistline. I will mark at our allowance, and then I will connect it like this using a straight line. Now I'll come back to this our shoulder. Remember from this our shoulder slope, I will come here, place my tape here, and divide this into 2. So I will divide it into 2, and then I will mark it here. Now that I've marked it here, what I'm going to do from this point where our nipple to nipple measurement stopped, I'll go ahead and connect it to meet that to this division that we did into 2. So this is princess curve. This is already coming out. This is a princess dart. Now what we're going to do is to go ahead and get our cup area. So from this division we have here, I will come down by 2 inches. I will mark the 2 inches down here. So for us to get our cup, starting from this our allowance here, I will come out this way by 2 inches. I'll mark the 2 inches down here, mark it down here, and then I will mark it up to our under bust measurement, and I will stop there. I will stop at our under bust measurement, and then I will just connect it with a straight line. Can we see what I'm doing? So from this point, remember we came down by 2 inches at this area. So what I'm going to do is that I will give it a curve to meet this point, just like this. So this is what I'm going to do. Can you see the way I'm curving it out to this point? So I've gotten our princess curve. Did you see the way I curved it out? So this is it for our princess curve. We have gotten it. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and impute our body measurement. So I'm going to put my round bust circumference, which is 9 1/4. I will mark it here. I will check the distance between these two darts, which is ½ inch. I will put the ½ inch down here, and then I will add extra 2 inches sewing allowance. So from here, I will just go ahead and connect it to meet it to this point. Did you see what I just did? From this place, I will mark my waist measurement. My under bust measurement gave us 30 inches. I will divide it like this with my tape. Can you see the way I divide? This is the easiest and accurate way to divide with your tape. I'll mark it, which will give us 7.5. I'll place my 7.5 here. I'll check these 2 inches allowance we have here. I will replace from this place. I will add extra 2 inches seaming allowance. I will mark, and then I'll connect it to the bust area like this. I hope you can see. Let me bring it up a bit. Now we're going to mark our waist measurement. My waist measurement divided by 4 will give me 7 inches. I will mark the 7 inches down here. I will check this our dart intake, which is 2 inches. I will place and replace it here, and then I will add extra 2 inches. I'll add extra 1 inch seaming allowance to this point, and then I will go ahead and connect it just like this. Can we see? So that is all. Please leave a comment if you don't understand anything. Can you guys see my face? Can you see? So please, okay, so please ask questions, leave your questions on the comment section, and I will attend to it. So that's basically it. So this is what you're expected to have as your princess cut. Can you see what it looks like? This is what it looks like. Very easy and straightforward. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'll cut it out following the direction of all the measurements that we impute, just like this. Then I'll also make sure that I pin it down. I always love to pin down. I'll pin it down. Jose, please come and pass. Sorry. I'll pin it down here. So I'll cut. And I'll pin. So I'm cutting the areas where we have. So this is the front part. Can you see what it looks like? So this is what you're expected to have as a princess bustier cut. So I'll keep this aside, and I'll keep my pin. And then now we are going to just cut out the cup area. So this cup, the good thing about this princess bustier is that you can manipulate it and use it for your corset. You can manipulate it and use it for anything. You can use it to get a corset cup and a lot of all the things that comes with princess cut. So I have cut this out, and this is what we have for our princess bust. So you can see our breast point, under bust, our waistline, and then our allowance. So this is, I've shared a hack of how I manipulate my bustier, my bustier at the front to get my back princess dart. So I'll keep this one now aside, because we are going to be using it to cut out for the back area. So I am still here to take your questions. If you have any questions, please ask. Do they know the verb again? Just did they look me. So I am going to use this. So let me look at the comment section. Please ask questions if you don't answer, if you don't understand. I am here. Oh, nobody is helping me to hold my camera. Yes, so I am here. I am here. So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to iron, because we're going to be using the front pattern to get our front. We're going to use the front pattern to get our back pattern. So I always love to sprinkle water. When you iron and sprinkle water, it makes your clothes perfect, nice, not really perfect. So what I'm going to do is that I will check the measurement though, to see if it's the same thing, because to buy lining these days is not easy. So I always love to manage my lining. I don't like to overshoot my lining. So yes, I am going to make sure that I don't overshoot the lining, that the lining is on course and all. So I'll make sure I have this. This is 15. Make sure that that is what I have. So I'll cut out this thing 15 here, and then I'll pin it down. So I'll go ahead and pin. The problem is that I keep buying pins. I don't know if these pins used to disappear, because all my tailors in the house, does your pin disappear? Because my own seems to always disappear. My pin used to always disappear. If they disappear, like say tomorrow, no day. So I'm just pinning it down to make sure I get an accurate measurement. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is that I want to make sure that by the time I place it, I'm going to have enough. It's going to waste my lining. Oh, let me be sure that my lining is not going to waste. My lining is going to waste, shower. My lining is going to waste, shower. I don't want to waste this lining. I'll leave it like that. Oh, I will reduce it so that my lining will not. Because 1 yard of lining now is going for 500 in my area. How much is a yard of lining in your own area? So I've reduced the lining. You people that you be saying, is it only this person's hand they are seeing? I am here. See my beautiful face. I am here. Okay. So thank you so much for joining. So I want to make sure that I have exactly what is going to be enough for me at this end, to make sure that it's going to be enough. So this is enough for me, so I'm going to cut it out. So I will pin down to avoid it moving away. So I'll pin it down. So now that I have pinned down, what we are going to do next is to mark out our zipper allowance. Can you see my hands now? So I'll mark out our zipper allowance. So I think I'll have to cut this away, so that I have to cut it out so that we will see what I'm doing clearly. So I hope we can see now what I'm doing. So I am going to come in by 2 inches. I'll come in by 2 inches. So this 2 inches is going to be for our zipper allowance. So this is for our zipper allowance. I will mark it down here. So this is for our zipper allowance. So what we are going to do now is to pick up this our back pattern. This is our front pattern. We're going to place it on top of it, directly on top of our zipper allowance that we just marked out. So I will use this one now and pin it down so that this one won't move away. I will also pin it at this other end so that it won't move away. Now, if you notice that I did not impute any 2 inches, that is the difference between my front and the back, I just maintained it. I just maintained it because this is going to, I will quickly explain to us how to get it. So in cutting this princess dart, I really do not observe that 2 inches, the difference between the front and the back. The essence of this is because the essence of why I don't observe the difference between the back and the front is because if you joined this live stream from the beginning, you remember that before we were able to get this curve that we have here, we came out by 2 inches. That is, from this point here, before we marked it, we came out by 2 inches first before we got this curve. Now pay attention to how I'm going to be placing this. So I'll bring it up for us to see. Now you see this curve that we have here. We want to make sure that we are placing it in a way that is equal, at this edge. So you can see that this curve here now is lapping on top of the front pattern. Did you see the way I placed it? Can we see the way I placed it? So we want to, can we see that is at this point? Now let me quickly show us. So if I want to measure this to this point, now you can see that it's 2 inches on top of here. So the essence of this is that by the time we join this thing to this place, it's where our bust area is going to sit on. It means that the bust area, this curve here, have pushed it up by 2 inches, making it equal with the front and the back. I hope we understand this explanation. Please, if you don't understand, you ask questions on the comment section. Please ask questions on the comment section before we continue. Now I will pin it on top of it like this. I want to pin it on top of it so that it won't move away. So by the time you are cutting your princess bustier this way, there's no need of you observing the difference between your back waistline and your front waistline. I hope we understand to this point. Please, if you don't understand, just leave a message, just leave a comment on the comment section and I will explain it for us. So now that we have achieved to this point, I will go ahead and just cut it out. So this one is out. Does it come out now? So this one is out. Can we see? So this is out. Now we can even see that. Let me explain again. We can see that there's the difference. If you see at this curve here, after making it equal at this point, you can see that it's equal at the waistline here. And then can you see that? Can you see? Let me turn it for us to see. Let me raise it up so that I can explain it better. Can we see that at this point here? Can we see that this place is not equal? Can we see that the difference from this point to this point is 2 inches? This explains it that only this curve alone has covered up for the front and the back waistline difference. Do we understand? Do you understand? Please leave a comment, ask questions if you do not understand, and I will answer the question. Okay, now what I am going to do next now, sorry, I was looking for my chalk. You see this difference between here. If we cut it out like this, it's going to affect our, let me turn it like this, I hope we can see. So if I leave this opening here like this, it's going to affect the back pattern. Now what we are going to do is that I am going to go ahead and connect it just straight up like this. I hope you can see. Now I have connected it straight up to this point. So by the time I cut out the back pattern, it's not going to affect it. Please take note. Take note that the difference between the back and the front was not observed in this princess cutting because of this curve that is already overlapping on top of this. Can you see that is overlapping by the 2 inches? So there's no need of observing the difference between the back and the front. So we're going to go ahead. I will just swear for my brother today. I'm going to go ahead and connect it like this. You see the way I'm tracing it? So by the time I trace it out this way, I am good to go. But before that, we cannot leave this place straight like this, because when you leave it like this, it's going to have zip bulginess. Okay, by the time we leave it like this, it's going to have zip bulginess. Please take note. If we leave this angle like this, it's going to be having zip bulginess. This is the 2 inches allowance. Let me label this for zipper. This is for our zipper allowance. So by the time we leave it 2 inches, if you are just joining the live stream, we came in by 2 inches for our zipper allowance. Now we're going to try to eliminate zip bulginess. To eliminate the zip bulginess, first of all, I'm going to get the depth of the back neck. So for the back neckline, I'm going to be using 2 inches as the back depth. Okay, or I can use a V-neck for the back. So all I just need to do is that I can make the front and the back the same thing. All I just need to do is just to go ahead and connect it like this. So this is going to be for the back. but I don't want that. So I will come down by 2 inches for our back neck, and then I'll go ahead and curve it in like this. Okay, now that we've gotten our back neckline, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it out so that at any point we will not be confused at any point. Now we have our back neckline and our front neckline. Now from this point here where we have our back neckline, I will come out, I'll still maintain 2 inches. I'll still maintain the 2 inches here. Now coming to this our breast points, here, I will come in. I will come in here, come out here too by 1 inch. Remember, I did 2 inches here. At this point, I'm doing one inch, and then at this waistline area, our waistline area, I will also do 2 inches. Okay. Sorry, at this our waistline area, I will just do 1.5. Remember, this here is not where our back is going to be. This is where our bodiness is going to be, because this down part here is going to be a peplum. This area here is peplum. Please take note. What I'm going to do is that from this 1 inch we came out, I will connect it to this point. You can see it's now looking slanted, and then from here I will go ahead and curve it out like this. So we have eliminated every zip bodiness. So I'll go ahead and cut following the direction of our chalk. So can we see that we have eliminated every zip bodiness at the back? So when you are cutting, please make sure that your zipper allowance is not straight. It's very important for you to note. Make sure that your zipper allowance is not straight. Now we are going to go ahead and cut. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out just like this. So I have cut it out. So what we are going to do now is that we're going to be separating the front and the back pattern. So this is our front. The front is easy to identify because of this bust curve. And then this is for the front princess dart. I'll just pin it. There's no need of pinning this front, but for clarity's sake, because there's no opening at the front pattern, so it's easy for us to identify, I'll keep it aside. Okay, so I'll bring it back and place it here. So when I place it here like this, I'll place it. So you can just follow it and cut it out. Let me place it so that you understand. So you can either and just cut it out. Just cut it out. By the time you cut it out, you already have a princess back dart. But let me, for clarity's sake, just go ahead, because I want us to see what the effect looks like at the back. So you can just cut it out, but there's no need of tracing it out that way. Just for us to see it clearly, for clarity purpose, that is why I'm tracing it out. So this is our back pattern. Oh, sorry, I'm coming. So this is what our back pattern. I've not cut out the princess dart. So this is the easiest way for you to get your princess dart. I hope we understand to this point. This is the easiest way for you to get your princess dart. Just place your front pattern. The most important thing is this, your front pattern. By the time you place it on it, and then you use this one, and make sure that this curve area is lapping on top of it, just like this. So make sure it's lapping, and then for you to know whether it's lapping is that you make sure these two edge, the two waistline meet each other mouth to mouth, and they are the same point. So by the time it's meeting each other mouth to mouth, it automatically makes this place to lap. I hope you understand. So I'll go ahead and separate the front pattern, and we will cut out following this tracing that we already have here. So we have our princess back, and then we have our back. So please ask questions. Please ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. Please do well to ask questions. So I'm going to take questions now for us to for me to know if we understand before we move to the next part. So this is my face. If you're just joining us, if you're just joining the live stream, so this is my face. So please ask question. We just cut our princess bustier. If you are just joining us, we just cut our princess bustier with a back princess dart. This is the front area. Can you see what it looks like? This is the front area. This is our center front. There's no slit at the front. This is our center front. This is our back. So this is the back pattern. This is the pieces. You can see that this is the princess cut area, and then this is our center back with our zipper allowance. So always make sure you eliminate any zip bulginess at the back. So I will keep this one aside. So please ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. Please ask questions. If you, I'm now on the comment section. Oh, thank you, Monique, my love, for joining. Thank you, Orire. I can see Orire on the line. Thank you, Monique. Monique said we can see. Okay. So please, if you don't understand any to any point, please ask questions. I'm here. I can see the person who asked for this tutorial, this live stream. I am sorry I wasn't able to create a tutorial on how to cut a bustier with a peplum. So that's why I'm streaming it live today. So with that, we are going to go ahead now and use our drafted pattern to cut on our main fabric. So I'm going to switch this back to for you to see my table. Okay, this is my table. We are back to my table, and we are back to my table. So this is my table. Can you see my table area? This is my table area. Does it what we are clothes? Hi. So we are going to be cutting our peplum. So the next thing we are cutting now, sorry, I'll soon finish here. The next thing we are cutting now is our peplum. So let me bring the camera so that you can see my face. So for the cutting of the peplum, I am going to be taking my round waist measurement from where my peplum is going to stop. So for this peplum, my round waist measurement is 28 inches. My round waist measurement is 28 inches. I hope it's 28 inches. I've eaten and it has added. It's 28 inches. Now for us to get our peplum, I am going to be dividing it by 2. I'm going to be dividing it by 4. So this is 28 divided by 4. Let me bring it down so that we can see now. This is 28 divided by 4. All right. This is 28 divided by 4. Now from this 28, I've divided it into 2 first. Place our tape like this. This is how I divide with my tape. This is straightforward. Place your tape together and divide it wherever you want your measurement is. Place it into 2 and also divide it into 2 again, just like this. So we have it to be 4. Now we are needing the round circumference of 7 inches. We're going to get 7 inches. Now we're cutting a 160-degree flay peplum. So we're going to first of all fold our lining into 2 like this. By the time I fold it into 2 this way, I have folded it into 2 like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that I will also fold it again. Oh, but I've cut here. So I'll fold it into 4. So remember, okay, I've cut out here. Please let me see if we can. Let me bring it down a bit for us to see what I'm folding. So for us to fold for our peplum, I am going to be folding. This is our long lining. I'll fold it into 2. Let me keep it like this. Probably you see it. I have folded it into 2. This is the first folding, and then I am going to fold it again like this. I've folded it again like this. This is the second folding. So this is the second folding. Now we have this to be folded into 4. This is folded into 4. Let me iron it. I always love to iron out. I'm sorry, but I always love to iron out my Please, I hope we can see. I hope we can see. I hope we can see. So I have folded it into two. First of all, I folded it first one like this. I folded it, and then the third one I folded it here. So you see there's no opening here. There's no opening here as well. Now, and then at this point, this is our mating point. So let me keep this like this for us to see. So the next, remember that the round waist we are looking for is 7 inches. So what I'm going to do is that there's how I get my round circumference for my peplum. So I will come down here. I will mark 3 inches at this point here. I will mark 3 inches at this point. Now I will use my tape. I will use it to connect. Just go ahead and connect it, or you can use your hand, your tape, to just go around. It's still the same thing. There's no difference. Just that I'm used to cutting without the tape. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to measure this round circumference like this. Let me keep it this way. I will measure it starting from this point. Now I've measured it. This gave us 5.5. 5.5. I will check it. 1. Remember, we're looking for 28 circumference. This is 1. This is 4. So it's not enough. We'll still go ahead and this. So this one, we are cleaning it off. This one is not there. So remember, the first one we came down was 3.5. So at this point here, I will come down by 5 inches. And then at this other point, I will come down by 5 inches. So I will use my tape, mark here, be taking it all round. This is just to get a square so that I can get the round circumference of our waist. Please let me know if you can see what I'm doing. Please let me know if you can see what I'm doing. So we are going to now check this round circumference. So this is the easiest way for you to get your round circumference. So this one gave us 8.5. I will check the 8.5. This is now 17. 17 plus 17 gave us 34, which is too big. So what I'm going to do right now is to divide it and then still reduce the circle. So you can, there are other ways to get this, but this is the easiest way I get mine. I hope we can see. So I will check this other circle that I've marked. This will give us 7.5. I'll check. This will give us 50. So I will turn it to this other side. Now that we have understand, I'll turn it to this other side. So what we have here, remember that at this point here, I have 4.5. At this area, I have 4.5. So I'm going to come up at this point. So let me turn it to this other area for us to now see. I will iron it properly. So at this point here, I'll come down here by 4 inches, and then at this other point I'll come back by 4 inches, and I'll use my ruler, my tape to go around it. So the way I'm doing this, I'm doing it in a way that we are going to understand. So you can do your circle as much as you can, try to get your round circle as much as until you've gotten your waist circumference. So I don't want to give us a calculation that we will not understand, but there are different ways of getting it. But this is a beginner friendly tutorial, and I'm trying so much to make sure that the person who asks for this tutorial gets to understand it. Okay, so now we're going to check the round circumference of this. To check the round circumference of it, we have it to be 7. 7 plus 7 will give us 14. 14 plus 14 will give us 28. So I know that is 4 that I'm going to use, but I use this place as an illustration for you to know that the most important thing on how to get your waist circumference for your 160-degree peplum is that for you to make sure you mark, get the circle, check all the circles until you get, when you calculate it into 4, you will get your round circumference. I know what I'm supposed to have used to get my 28, but I wanted us to understand it very well before we head to the next one. So now that I have gotten our peplum round circumference. So please don't be angry here. I'll soon finish. So now that I've gotten our circumference, I'll pin it down. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to get the length of the peplum. Remember that the length of the peplum we are looking for is 8 inches. Can you see my... Let me adjust the camera so that we can be able to see very, very well. So from this point now, we are now going to go ahead to get... Oh, we are now going to go ahead to get the length of our... We are going to go ahead and get the length of our... We're going to get the length of our peplum flay. So from here, I'll mark 8 inches from this circle. I'll mark the 8 inches. You see the way I'm moving my tape? You'll be moving your tape all around. Can you see the way I'm moving it? This is how you get your flay circumference. So you can see the way I'm moving it. So you want to be moving your tape. You want to be moving your tape. I really want you to see what I'm doing here. That's why I'm trying to get to the perfect position for it. Okay, I'll be moving it all around. Can we see? Okay, yes, I'll be moving it all around, and then I'll move it to the full length, just like this. So I have gotten our flay. I have gotten our flay. So now that I have gotten our flay, I'll go ahead and cut. So to this point, if you have any question for me, please leave it on the comment section. Please leave it on the comment section and I will attend to it. Please leave it on the comment section. So first of all, we'll go ahead and cut out our flay. So I'm going to deepen it a little so that the excesses that will come out of it will give me a zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut. So I hope you can see what I'm cutting. So I have gone ahead to cut it. So this is what our peplum looks like. This is our 160-degree flay peplum. So I have cut it out. So if you open it up, if you open up this peplum, this is what we are supposed to have. This is what we are supposed to have. Can we see? So this is what we're supposed to have, literally, guys. So this is it. This is what we're supposed to have. All you just need to do is to just open up one side and you're good to go. So by the time you tear it up, this is what you're supposed to have. So let me take up the camera so that for us to see what we are supposed to have. So how many people are on live with me? So we have gotten our peplum. This is our peplum. Can we see? This is our 160-degree peplum. So this is what it looks like. So by the time it goes around my waist, let me show us. So by the time it goes around my waist, I hope you can see. So by the time it goes around my waist, you can see the allowances at the back. So this extra allowances you're seeing at this back here is going to be serving as our... It's going to be serving as my zipper allowance, my sewing allowance, and all. So can we see? So this is the peplum. When I put my peplum on this point, this is what my peplum is going to look like. So I hope we understand. So this is my peplum. This is for my peplum. Now that we have gotten for the peplum, I'm going to keep it aside. Now what we're going to do is to go ahead and use this to cut on our main fabric. So we're going to be cutting on our main fabric. So because of you now, cut this thing so that you can come and dress up. So on our next trim, we're going to use this now to cut on our main fabric. So remember, this is the back pattern for our princess cuts. This is the back. The back usually have opening because of this zipper allowance. And then this is our princess cut. This is our bustier cup area for our front as well. So this is for our front. This is our two fronts. This is what our two fronts looks like. And then this is what our back princess bustier looks like. So this is what makes it unique. You can see that when you join it, it will give you a princess dart. Let me just quickly pin it for us to see. Please, if you are understanding this my tutorial, please like it now. This is my YouTube audience. Like it or like my tutorial if you're understanding. We need to still cut out interfacing for this, so you need interfacing. for it. But let me quickly show us. By the time we are sewing, remember when you're sewing, you're going to be stitching from this point. Always start from the down part of your joining. It's very important. So I'm just pinning it. I'll pin it around because we are not going to be sewing today. We are not going to be sewing it now because we need to use it to cut on our main fabric. So by the time you pin it this way, can you see the way I'm pinning it? Just pin it and you're good to go. Hey, well, where's my pin? Okay. Go hard or go home, oh. I don't want to kill myself. Outside is so cold, though. Don't anything to bother me. So by the time you pin it, do your princess, sew it all around. So when we're sewing it, we're definitely going to see. So by the time we sew it, we're going to be having a princess cut like this. We're meant to be having a very pretty princess cut, just like this. So I am going to be keeping this aside because we're going to be cutting an interfacing, and we are going to be continuing on this tutorial right about later. So if you understood this tutorial to this point, I am waiting for your comment section, especially this peplum area. I hope you understand. I hope you understand, Mimi, because let me wear the peplum again if you're just joining us live. So this is our peplum. We're already gone ahead to achieve our peplum. So by the time you put it around your waist, this is what your peplum is meant to look like at the back and then at the front. This is 160 degree flare or 180. So all I know is that there's no plating, there's nothing here. So guys, thank you so much for joining. My phone is about to go down. I need to charge it so that we can continue on our next phase for our tutorial. So we're going to be live in about a minute. I need to power my phone because of that. So we have come to the end of today's tutorial, the phase 1 of this tutorial. So on our next phase, we are going to be cutting this on our fabric. We're going to be using this to cut on our fabric here. We're going to use this to cut on our fabric. We're going to be joining the interfacing for it. Guys, this is where I used to store my kaya, all my kayas, my kaya. So that is basically all. So I will go ahead and, thank you so much for watching. See you on our next tutorial when we are going to be transferring it on this fabric. Thank you so much for joining, Monique. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. It was helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Orire. See you guys on our next tutorial. So if there's no question for me, if there's a question, please guys ask questions. If you don't understand, if there at any point you didn't understand, please ask questions. Leave a question for me. I am going to be answering that question on the comment section. Thank you so much. See you guys on the part 2 of where we're going to be cutting this on a fabric and transferring it right about later. Let me power my phone.